Hi guys and gals and kittens, and welcome to the IE Niro Magic Show. In this video I'm going to show you how to connect, how to use the MCP server that was just recently released inside of Magic. Here I have a Cloudlet. You can do this with the open source version 2 for the record, but you need to install it somewhere. So if I go to plugins, manage plugins, I search for MCP, then you can install the MCP server in Magic, which is just another module amongst 50 or something that you can choose to extend Magic. So now what I want to do, I want to go inside of Claude. So let me go to Claude here. Then I click settings in the top left corner. You can't see that, but very top left corner, if you're on a MacBook, you get the settings thing inside of Claude. Then I'm going to click on developer, then I'm going to click edit config here. And then I'm going to right click this guy and open with Visual Studio Code, which brings me here. Now I've already cheated and I've added this part from before, but basically what you got to do, you got to search for MCP server. If you don't have that any place in your configuration file, you need to create a key for MCP servers. I named mine Magic Cloud, but you can name it any way you wish. You can name it iNedo or whatever. And this is the crucial part, because this becomes the URL. And the latter parts here, /magic, /modules, /MCP should be the same for every single installation, but the domain here obviously is different depending upon your Cloudlet's domain. And then you want to have the authorization, bearer token here, and the auth token here. And yes, I'm going to reset my JWT secret after this video is done before I upload to YouTube, so there's no leakage going on here. So I'm going to be writing an article about this process where I'm going to be publishing this code such that you can copy and paste it. Now, when you have done that, you need to go to Claude Code and you need to kill it. And then you need to restart it like this. Why? Because it reads apparently MCP servers during initialization or something. And now I have Claude Cowork connected to my Magic Cloudlet. So if I now tell this thing to, for instance, list all functions you've got in the Magic Cloud connector, right, then basically what this thing is going to do is going to invoke my MCP endpoint, and then it's going to retrieve all functions and allow for Claude Code to use these functions. As you can see, I can read and list albums, stuff like that. Read top 5 albums sorted by name. And this actually goes to my Cloudlet now and fetches data from my database. And of course, the really cool thing about this thing is that, you can connect Magic to any database. So if you get an existing database, you can connect Claude to that database using Magic. If you use the CRUD generator. Here you see Adjust this for all 20th century masters. And all of this comes from the Cloudlet. Right, this isn't stuff that Claude made up. It actually extracted it from my database. List revenue grouped by country such that the best-selling country bubbles to the top. And this is because I already have these methods in inside of my Cloudlet, right? Let's see what the results becomes here now. And here you see. So USA is the best selling, then Canada, then France, then Brazil, etc., etc. So whatever functions you have in your Cloudlet automatically becomes extensions inside of Claude Code. And let me illustrate that point by going here and going to create and choosing hyper ID here, choosing modules and naming this one test. You know what? Let's call it foobar. Foobar. And let's just create a new stupid file here. Get joke.get.hl returns a Chuck Norris joke from that Chuck Norris from the public, Chuck Norris, joke API. Hopefully this is going to work. Let's see if the hyperlambda generator does its job. Let's save it. Let's execute it. And I'm not entirely sure now if I actually need to kill Claude Code or not before this particular method becomes available inside of Claude. So let's check it out. Do you have a get joke method? Whoops, that was Greek. Get joke method in Magic Cloud. Let's ask it. And if it doesn't, we'll just restart Claude Code, at which point all of a sudden Claude Code's going to be capable of telling Chuck Norris jokes. So now let's do a restart because it answered no. And now we can tell it to tell me a joke using the Magic Cloud connector. Hopefully it's going to understand my little spelling error there. Always allow. As you can see now, it's reaching out for an external tool. And here is the joke. If the Grinch stole Chuck Norris' Christmas, he has 3 seconds to give it back. And now I have not only connected Claude Cowork to my Cloudlet, but I can also do all sorts of other stuff. If I now go in here and I do, for instance, statistics, stats.get.hl. Let's do something funny here. Returns a list of artist rows from Chinook database, including each album row for all artists, linked by artist ID. Hopefully this is going to work. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. Point is, I want to select a graph object, basically every single artist plus all of their albums. I don't want to do limit -1 because that's going to be too big. So let me just save this as limit 5 instead. And so here we have an HTTP method that actually doesn't do shit. Join. Yeah, because it's joining. You know what? Let me edit this guy. Not my day. Retrieves all artist records from the Chinook database, including their related album records. Include all album rows for each. Retrieves 5 artists for each artist row using foreign key artist ID. Hopefully it's going to work now. So now here I basically created a new HTTP endpoint that returns 5 artists, including their album. So it's actually selecting a graph object here now. Let's see, stats, foobar. And now if we restart Claude again, hopefully it's going to have the stats. Do you have the foobar stats function from Magic Cloud? Yes, run it. And of course it bitches about my name because it doesn't return statistics. Of course, it actually returns, you know, albums and artists. But the point being that I wanted to show how I can now use Magic Cloud to actually create tools that Claude Code has access to all the time. And everything, of course, is like 100% secure based upon RBAC, role-based access controls, etc., etc. So whatever that JWT token, I pasted into my VS Code file here, or my Claude Desktop config JSON file. Whatever this token happens to have access to, I have access to. And this allows you to fine-grain access to, you know, specific domain functions within like your enterprise while connecting your databases completely securely to Claude Code without risking hallucinations or people overstepping their boundaries according to their roles within the organizations, etc., etc., etc. So, and of course, everything is open source. You can download it today and get started with it now. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.